Good morning, everyone. I'm Brenda O'Connell. I work at Lake County as the Continuum of Care Program Coordinator. And I'm in a minute going to give us a little orientation to homelessness in Lake County and all the great data that we have about homelessness that we gather through the Continuum of Care and through our collective efforts in Lake County. But right now, I'm going to vamp on the federal plan to end homelessness. I think that what's interesting is that there has been a significant federal effort to break down silos, understanding that homelessness is an issue that cuts across mental health, substance abuse, which are primarily Health and Human Services, housing, which is HUD, Department of Education. And in this room, I think we know that locally, that homelessness impacts all of those systems, law enforcement. All of those people at the federal level need to sort of get together and talk to each other and figure out how to work together. And so since 2009, they've been working on this opening doors plan that you have in your hand and implementing that plan. And a lot of amazing things have happened in that time. I think maybe you've seen that federally, veterans' homelessness has been reduced by 49%. And there have been a lot of efforts to work closer together and streamline resources so that people can move from homelessness into housing. And part of this, one of the words that we haven't said yet today, but I'm going to say a lot once I start talking, are housing first, which I know that I appreciate the perspective of a police officer who says, you know, how do we serve our city? In the 70s, let's move homeless people out. But we've moved to a different day where we've realized moving them into housing is a way to really integrate people into the community, support them, support our neighbors, and have a safer community. So housing first is an idea of, instead of creating a system that keeps people homeless, moving them into housing quickly and providing supports in that housing that allow them to stay in housing. So there are a certain amount of people who are able to resolve their homelessness quickly, and then there are some people who are the people that we often think about that we see on the streets that don't have those resources. So being able to wrap services around those folks and put them into housing is something that Bev has been working on at the federal level, and really how to break down those barriers between different silos. So one thing in my world, I work on the Service Point database, which you maybe have heard of. It's our homeless management information system. And one of the things that's happened in the last 5 years is that the federal government has been bringing more and more people onto this same system, encouraging / requiring runaway and homeless youth funded programs to come onto the system, encouraging the VA's programs to come onto our system, which hasn't happened locally yet, so that we locally can have a good way to communicate with each other about what's happening for specific people and in general. So really my presentation in a minute is going to be all about the data that we have, our collective impact, about how we move people from homelessness into housing.